Let's do this.
Welcome to Parallel Podcast 868, Trinidad's finest professional, unprofessional podcast with your host, I Am and the God.
Trinidad!
Yeah. You know what it is. Parallel Podcast 868, Trinidad's finest. I'm your host, I Am. I am Prez for the fucking slow ones, right? Alongside the God, the alchemist himself, tell the people and them something.
Yeah, this morning I wake up and I said prayers.
This is going to be interesting.
And I realized I was talking to myself. That is all.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we want to encourage you all to subscribe, like, keep sharing the page on YouTube, TikTok. Well, we don't really have a TikTok page, you know. Me and Ding, they just share the thing and all let us love it same way. Right? So we have two special guests tonight. I will let them introduce themselves because I done game both for the night ahead. Right? So, who want to take it first, way?
Nashaka, you wanna?
Hi everyone, I'm Nashaka. Just Nashaka for now. Well, I'm autistic, born. Just putting all my quirks out there. But because of my neurodivergent brain, I have learned to see the world in such a different way. And I would like to share that through my voice as an artist.
Nice.
So let's try something different.
Not bad at all.
Hey, she bring up the autism and thing. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah,
Well, I guess I had to do that too. Okay, my name is Keisha-Anne. I too am autistic. Now, I know that people don't really know about that, but I see that as us having a superpower. We are able to detach from the social world and see the world in an individual way. And we out there just trying to find the best way, you know? So we're really out here to share what we know. We might come with some different perspectives. As I say, we might be a little quirky and stuff, but we're real genuine. And it's all about finding truth so that, you know, people can get a little healing, a little understanding, and we can have a better place, no? This earth. So, yeah.
Definitely.
Nice, man. I like the heathen.
I have real questions. You know what I mean? I know some people who are autistic, and I never really dive deep into it. Is there different levels of autism?
First, I want to hear, what does it mean to you? What do you think it means?
I cannot give you a definition, honestly. I could give you signs and symptoms of people that I know. Like, you know, I know a youth man who is autistic, and he's about 7 years old, and he hasn't spoken a word since. So I could tell you signs and symptoms of it, but I can't really give you a definition of. And what I do from watching movies and things, I do know that it is a brilliance in itself now. It's not really as much as it, like for example, him being a late starter talking, that doesn't mean that something is wrong with him then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it could be the slow level to greatness, if that's you know, something I can say. But
an important thing too is all about support and people understanding each other, because we all have our struggles, right? And people need to understand how everybody works. But, you know, when you're in a society where it's all about conforming to a certain way, and you have people who do not conform, you have to figure out, okay, what makes them different. So I think autistic people are here to show us that we are different and we have different ways of thinking. And sometimes if it is we took the time to recognize the minds of these people, you could discover so many things that we never even thought about, you know?
How would you define autism in your words?
You want to say something?
Well, autism is a spectrum, right? So I am autistic, yes, but I may not have the same autistic traits that you have or the 7-year-old you spoke about have.
Okay.
It's a spectrum. For me, I have problems regulating my emotions. That's where she come in.
Okay, she's a regulator. Okay.
Yes. She actually diagnosed my autism in the first place.
So generally, autism is more like being different, would you say, in a broad spectrum?
It's like neurodivergence. You think differently, basically. If everybody think 1, 2, 3, 4, you think 4, 3, 2, 1.
So it's out of the social norms.
Basically, yeah.
So, I mean, you have different perspectives there. If you look at it from a psychological perspective, they might see it as a disorder or a condition.
Well, I think anything beyond the norm of social, there's be a disorder for people.
So being crazy can be considered autistic.
Yeah.
Well, you see, what does crazy mean? Now, the thing is,
To
everybody's
me-
act a different way.
To me, that's been
But once
different.
you understand what's going on, they're no longer crazy. You understand?
You ever been in a conversation with somebody and they're telling you, imagine Ding is Washika every day, them crazy, yes? But what crazy about that? If Ding just like to see car well polished.
Why would they use the word crazy in that situation?
And to me, crazy is just being different, you know. To
Correct.
me, or where people can understand
Yeah.
them. And I would love to interview a crazy person, yeah. I would love to get inside and see what they should be thinking.
Who is crazy? Name somebody
Exactly.
that's crazy. So, okay, this is why we want you to challenge us, right? Because if you have a different perspective, you realize people might be misunderstood. We don't know how to help people, but everybody has a reason for behaving the way they are or believing what they believe.
I think,
So point out what is the most crazy thing you could come up with, and I'm sure we could find a perspective that shows, okay,
It's not crazy.
I could understand that. Yeah.
I do that a lot when I compare heroes and villains.
Yes. Delve deeper. Do share. Do share.
Because at plenty movies or plenty cartoons, whatever I call it, I could always understand the villain's perspective and why they do, why they choose to do what they do. Understand? Even create Thanos, for example.
big up Thanos anyway, you stand.
You understand, for example? And some go say he crazy, but I wouldn't say he crazy. I understand where you come from. That's what I'm saying.
Crazy might be mixed up with people being extra passionate or intense as well. So you're driven in a certain way. So even if you're thinking like, yeah, this is right, but okay, I might have to kill a few people to get through with this. People be like, whoa, you're a little extra. You understand? Like we just conform and not be so extra. So yeah, I don't know, but which autism, craziness, do you have anything that you all want to talk about in particular or that important to you?
But what I mean, just going back to the whole thing that the word people like to use is weird and crazy.
Okay.
And sometimes I know I just hear people saying things and I'd be like, well, what weird about that? If that person like to do that, what makes it weird because you don't like to do it? You
And
know?
let me tell you something, yeah. I've been called weird, I've been called crazy. And I totally endorse it. If you're not crazy in this day and age, you ain't saying shit, brother, man. 'Cause I don't want to be normal. I don't want to be normal.
Because-
as I said.
Yeah.
A simple thing as this, right? There are people, amongst us that I'm sure you know them who choose not to be married or not to have children. And people just call them crazy, but that is your choice. That you don't have to.
No,
I
I
mean,
guess it's unsettling them. Just because you're not doing what everybody else
Else
doing,
doing, yeah,
but they're not
yeah.
taking any time to question why
and
this bothering me so much,
and
boy.
they're going to the extent of making you feel like you're not doing something with your life.
Or you're less than or something.
Yeah. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
it's because when you make them feel something, it's a tit for tat. Because why is she making me feel this way because she not married? That don't have to be her.
And
You
they're
not
even
married
thinking
and-
that deep. Yeah.
Like, you not married, so that's why I feel this way. But no, because she's allowing herself to be herself and make her own decisions, and you did not do that. You projected.
Exactly.
bothering you
It's a
somehow.
projection.
And the thing is as well, all of us are different, right? There's a fact. We all have different fingerprints, everything, right? Why people expect all of us to live the same way, have the same opinion, the same perspective? It ain't supposed to be so. It's supposed to be different. You know, it's supposed to be,
yeah.
it's supposed to be different.
Well,
We all
okay,
supposed
let
to be
me
different.
challenge you with something. Something that people fear with difference is it being wrong. So what y'all think about right and wrong? Because I real different with that. Or good and bad.
I don't believe in right and wrong. I would say straight up because that's just based on perspective. Even the laws is not right and wrong because it's a
Correct.
different laws in different countries to start with. If it was right and wrong, it would be right and wrong across the board. Right?
Yeah.
Something like killing, I could say that wrong for sure because that there's some wrong and it's a cross. It's a cross. But when you look at the law of nature, you realize animals kill.
Right.
You understand? For prey and stuff.
Wicked devil to advocate you there. What about wars? Why it okay to kill in a war?
Correct.
I don't find okay in our war.
Yeah, but it's okay by the
Army?
government.
Exactly. The
But
army
if I kill, I get locked up.
sanctioned by
That ain't making
government.
sense.
Right and wrong is a touchy subject. I don't believe in right and wrong.
Is there
per se.
anything you could think of that is definitely wrong? Because you at first say killing and then it's like, wait a minute. So is there anything? Let me go real deep.
I would say stick on taking a life. I don't think taking a life is for any person. For us to
People
do
could
not.
be suffering.
Eh?
People could be suffering.
Yeah, if people suffering, give them the choice to take their own life, or if they want their life to cease. You understand?
So then they could take their own life then?
Of course, theirs
So
to take.
lives can be
it's theirs to
taken.
take. No, it's theirs. It's my life to take. If I want to risk my life doing something, it's mine
And
to
if
risk.
somebody say, kill me, please.
But then, if I ask for it kindly, then
Kindly, you want to-
Kylie.
if I kindly, then I still promote it.
You know, in touchy waters now, you know, people might start to disagree there.
By that, we could agree to disagree. That's the point in it. But to me, only murder and intentional harm and hurt.
People might even think suicide is okay, but you saying that it's okay to kill yourself.
Yeah. It's
What
my
if
life
somebody
to take.
just depressed then? Should we say like, okay, that's a way to deal with the depression?
It is their life. If they choose to take their life, it is their life to take. It's their right. That's what I'm saying. So for me, it's killing and causing harm intentionally. So if I come and instead of killing, but abuse you or anything, even verbally abuse intentionally, not just do it. I could say something and you could be offended, but mean do it intentionally. That's my problem.
You see, but when people have emotions, nobody's studying intentionally or not. People just getting triggered
So
off.
if I know by doing this will hurt you, I intentionally do it to hurt you for a specific reason. That's intentions in my book. You understand? So I intend to really hurt you.
Yeah, intentionally.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
I want to kind of
But there
delve
must
into
be a reason why you felt validated to hurt that person.
right.
Oh,
So
right.
now I want to get into relationships because it's a nice little segue, and
Exactly.
we kind of talk about
And that
this
is it.
before.
I do believe in hurting people. Say, I believe that is wrong, right? So I wouldn't intentionally hurt anybody. That is me, right? But how people out there, just want to cause hurt and pain and
To make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
'cause At the
Because
end of the
they're
day.
full of hurt and pain.
Correct. Yeah.
hurt people,
Yeah.
hurt people. Correct.
So I can't even see that as evil still.
Eh?
I still can't even see that as evil
Some
when you
people
see
think
somebody
it's unfair.
hurting.
It's unfair. I hurt. You have to be hurt too. It's unfair.
Yeah, but to me, I don't see the reward in that.
The what?
The reward. For me being hurt and saying, nah, I think I have to be hurt too. I don't see the reward in that.
When somebody get cheated on and they go on and cheat back on their partner because
Like petty.
do for do, yeah, but that's how they feeling better.
You
You
made
understand?
me
I
feel
hurt
that
you
way.
now.
I don't
So
think-
you have to feel it back.
Or
I don't
I will
think-
make you jealous
I don't
because you
think,
make me feel bad.
alright,
This is
so
reality
let me
though.
say this, right? There's the reality. They're my reality, right? I don't see the sense in that because to me, that's just an excuse you wanted to cheat in the first place.
But why do people cheat? Now we're going into different
Right, but
waters now.
But before you reach that, right?
Everything have a reason.
Before you reach that,
You just wanted to
to
cheat.
me, if I have a certain integrity with myself and I get cheated on, I say, McGill,
I say to
I
leave,
cool, yeah.
You leave.
Cheating back is because I wanted an excuse. It come like
Yeah.
like
No,
this.
you hurt.
That's down. No.
You can leave.
It
You
come
can
like
leave and
this.
leave,
It
sir.
come like this, right?
Yeah.
It come like this, right? I am a person in a relationship. I have two brethren. I have Ding and Stuart. Ding love hoes. Stuart is a married man. When I want to do more wrong, who are going by to thing? Ding. And when I work proper counsel, I going by Stuart. That not.
When you say, remember, we're talking about right and wrong. Why are you going there? So isn't there
No, but that's
some
what I'm
need being
saying.
fulfilled?
I want an excuse to horn. So I'm going by Ding for advice. Ding boy, look what
Yeah.
this girl do me and
Because
say,
that will support
your
your
shit.
vice or
Yeah.
your shit. Yeah.
Right? So I'm saying, if your partner cheat on you and you go back and cheat, you wanted to cheat. If
Maybe
you,
the cheating make you feel better. People
Nah.
always cheat because they think it'll make them feel better. Anything people do is because they believe it'll make them feel better. Anything. Think
Them
about
feel
it.
better or
We're
the
not calling
person feel
it,
bad.
okay, ding like who's. Ding like who's for a reason. He think it making him feel better to have these women here. You can go real deep. Maybe because he paying these women, he feeling powerful. Maybe these women catering to his every need and he not getting that in a relationship. Maybe these women, even though he paying them, making him feel like desired and powerful. So he craving that.
right, but everybody have a part to play because if none of the women
That's why we're
wasn't
not judging nobody. We're trying to
Right.
understand everybody.
if the women and I wasn't taking pay, you would not have no hoes.
Well, it's
So
a
both
business.
sides. So
Right.
it's a both
So
sides.
the business exists because there's
But
a need,
it
supply
come like
and
this,
demand. And that illegal. Is it right or wrong?
yeah,
People want it underneath, but you understand? Some
yeah,
places
9
illegal,
girls
though.
complaining about one man. Yeah, he was it all a reading, but all he was with him. Somebody could have stopped. somebody gonna stop at
And
number
that's the
2.
thing,
That's the thing. That's why I want to pick all you up on saying,
Everybody
yeah, I
have-
could just leave if somebody cheats on
No,
me.
you could. You have
You
a
have
choice.
feelings too.
No, you have a
No.
choice. Are you
Have
ain't
a
there?
choice.
If
Have
you
a
put
choice.
yourself with somebody
Nah.
in a
You're
relationship
not being real.
and you get cheated on, it's on yourself to blame. I will say that on air.
If you get cheated on,
Yeah, it's
it's your
yourself to
fault.
blame. Yeah.
Explain.
All right.
So you didn't. So you knew you would get cheated on. So,
No,
but how is
Is your-
person's fault?
due diligence to know your partner fully. If you don't know that, I mean, it has some lies.
But
there.
can't you only know them when you're in the relationship? That's when you start to know people.
No. There are difference. You get in a relationship to know people. You know people, then get in a relationship. It should be
That,
that
never
order.
happens. You feel
For
attracted.
you, for you,
Not
for you.
me.
Perspective.
I talk about others. That's not me at
No,
all.
no, I tell you how it should
I
be.
talking a-
I tell you how it should be. The
Should
the
and
correct
what
way.
happening is two
Yeah.
different things. So we have to figure out why
And
things happening
that
first.
is why relationships are lasting.
Should don't mean nothing if people cannot do what you're saying they should do. You have to understand why people have this problem in the first place.
what do you
That's
think-
how we go in deeper.
What do you think they should do?
So what don't you understand?
Heal. They should heal.
True.
All right,
Because
but-
everything they're doing is to cover up the hurt. Very good.
Because it come like this, right? Let me give you an next example, right? I in a relationship and my girl cheat on me with Ding. Ding was she friend from school. She like long time, right? I find out. I decide to stay because we had a conversation or whatever, and that is my choice, right? Right. I telling she delete Ding number, block him, pass him straight, all these things, right? The normal regular rules. But up to now, I ain't asked you yet, why did you do it? Right? That is the real question. Because blocking and telling her she don't talk to you and thing, I still don't know why she did it. So if I ask her, why did you do it? Then she might say, I did it because I loose, or I did it because I find that
She will never
you
say that.
wasn't being this
No woman
person,
will say
or
that.
I did it because I had feelings for Ding Long. And then you get to the why, and then you could solve the problem that even might allow you to decide whether you're staying or not. But just telling the person, block, don't talk to them, ain't gonna change shit.
Let me tell you the deep reality about you just have a choice and you can just leave. Picture the fact that this woman is your world. You lock off everybody for her. You straighten up like a pin because you want to impress her, her family, her everything. You give your little paycheck to everything she wants to do, whatever, because you just want to please her. She's your everything. And then she cheat on you. Let's say with Ding, your best friend, on top of that.
I find my name very cold.
Well, let's say she call your name.
I said everything tonight, but
What I'm saying is, right?
Wait, I ain't finished yet.
Okay.
So, right? So, you have real feelings. Now, the first thing might be, as a man, I might say you might not want to admit that, and you might want to cover up a lot.
Right.
But deep down, you vex as hell. First of all, it's like, ding, I ain't look for you there. I thought we was good. Then you realize, can I curse? Yes, you done curse. Bitch, I giving you my paycheck and giving you my everything. I do all this for you. And that's what you do to me? You have so much feel. And you're hurt too. You're hurt, you're vexed, you're feeling betrayed. You're nobody. You telling me all you could do is just, okay, and let me just cut off that your whole life mash up, right? The first thing is you can't even fathom what happening. You in denial, first of all. You might even be able, because whoever come and tell you, you would not be able to believe them. You'll have a level of denial. Nah, Ding is my boy.
I could ask a question.
But this is
before-
real
Oh,
life.
go
These
on,
things
go
has
on,
happened.
go
Go
on,
ahead.
go on.
Now it's such a real example.
Right.
Tell me if you can just walk off and lock off and everybody have a
How could I
choice.
just know?
All right.
Right? I will answer you, but I want to ask a question, right? So if I kill them, that okay?
Whatever consequences you get from that, that is your
Right.
life.
No, that's not okay.
I did not
So,
say that. I say it's your life.
It's I'm saying that to say it's not going to be easy. Nothing in life is easy, especially when it comes to the mental. But it is what it is. Life goes on.
And people react in different ways and you never know
I'm
how.
sure I have been in many relationships, and I have been in relationships where I say, I can't leave this girl. She's the one for me. And then when I went to the next relationship, I like, wait, boy, I leave she's so easy? Or it's not
skip out
easy.
a part,
Not
though.
east, but
What
what I'm
about the
saying,
breakup and how you felt?
no, but
it wasn't
I
easy
went
in that
through,
moment.
I went through everything I went through.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't easy. But what I'm saying is, when it happened, And I look back now, it was like, I was making a big scene out of this
For nothing.
for nothing.
So I have a question. Let me go deep. I'm glad you make it
I said
real.
something to say. I
All
wanna
right,
jump.
go ahead.
The fact that they say you meet the love of your life forever, right? And you're looking for your friends, you give me a paycheck, all the things you said, right? Why do you have to look up your friends to be in a relationship? Why do you have to give your person a paycheck to be in a relationship? Why do you have to do anything you mention to be in a relationship?
I
All
just
those things
talking
are love-
about what people is actually do. I never said that was
No,
functional.
people don't have the definition of love correctly. That's
That's an
love it-
attachment.
That's love
correct.
conditions.
And
That's what I'm
most
saying.
people are in relationships with attachments and
That's
codependencies.
a subscription.
Most people.
Yeah, so-
Like no relationship.
And
That's most people.
if you go in a relationship without those factors being there, and you unconditionally love a person, when that shit happen, you wouldn't be as hurt as you think you would be. I'm telling you. And mainly because you will love yourself more. You will love yourself more.
Well, you know what love is too.
Unconditional
So,
love? I know what
right.
unconditional love is.
Yeah, but you have to love yourself. But most people get into a relationship because they love the person, because the person makes them feel love.
Or they don't love themselves.
Most people don't. This
Fact,
is
fact,
most
fact.
people, right?
Fact,
So
fact.
the thing is, we go based on attraction, and we think it's love, but people are attracted for multiple different reasons.
And there's a factor as well.
Even if, let me hear, when people have a type, where you think that come from? What is a type?
Well,
I want to hear all you.
I think when it comes to that, there are levels of life, right? Because I had my time in life where it was about a type.
And what was that?
A type
What
I
was your
attracted
type?
to.
Yeah?
I'm a type I attracted to. A type I might just want to
Yeah.
jam.
Well,
And then a type I will live
Yeah,
with.
correct.
It's a type for everything. I wouldn't disagree. But a person you want to live with, I would think it's somebody you should
Wait,
be.
when somebody say a type, something came to mind because you started to talk. You mentioned the era and things. So yes, you could come and be all philosophizing, but let me go with what came to mind. So you started to talk about a type in an era. I want to hear what you're saying. And what was that type, by the way?
The type is the sexy, the whatever, the do up here and all that. And
That's
the,
still kinda general.
the social. Yeah.
That's
You're
but I think it's
not
a
was at
physical,
certain
physical
age.
You're not
attraction.
type.
Remember, at a certain age, right?
Type is long legs, big hips. That's our type.
Nah, for
BBW.
me,
Yeah, exactly.
but I had my Reds era, I had my dark era.
Oh.
You know, that kind of thing.
I had a sexy era. When it's sexy, that's my type. I never used to put myself in a bracket.
I
Honestly,
don't call
that's
that
me.
a type.
Eh?
Sex.
No,
That's
that's
not
I
type, that's
never.
so general.
I never really had a type. And as I'm saying, if you're sexy, I could be attracted to you, I could be attached to you. But to be with you and live with you and thing, there's a different type. You understand?
But
That is
people
me.
don't call that a type. When they talk about
We have levels
type,
of relationship.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But there's some reasons for type. So when you say reds, no, that is a social type. You know, red man, red woman, or, you know, that is a social kind. And they have real history behind that too. We could go real deep in that too.
And to me, if you have a type, you're not
Then-
truly in love.
Right,
That's just
then, but people don't know because you're
attraction.
attracted, but you
Yeah,
don't know
attraction.
why. Right?
There's attraction.
They have certain reasons why
And
people.
then I'd reach a certain level where I see in the reds, I see in the darky, but when I open them out, I'm like, oh, fuck. Yeah, because, you know what I mean? They're just,
But so since all is man and we are women and we want to discuss gender stuff as well, there tends to be a kind of idea that men, even though you're saying, yeah, the woman talk and this, men could like block off that, and if you're sexy and stuff, then that don't matter. Is that true?
Nah.
Men block off what?
Not
Block
all
off,
men.
it don't matter. Like you could talk strippiness, you
Not
don't
all-
have a brain.
Not all
but
men.
If you're providing or
Nah,
you're feeling
nah.
like, you know, special or something in some way, then I don't think, because a lot of women say that he intimidated by my intelligence or something. I want to hear your
stupidity.
feedback.
I think that's a woman ego thing.
Oh.
I think there's a ego thing with woman. Or men with low self-confidence or something. I'm not sure. A woman that challenged me goes be a better woman. For me, at least. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I would never be intimidated by a woman. I can't see myself being intimidated by a woman. No how. If she is intimidating me, I would just force myself to do better. Which is better for me and better for us. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So intimidation is something a form of control.
But that's more like challenging.
A form of
then.
control.
Intimidation
Well,
is supposed to be
you-
a negative thing.
No,
though.
intimidation could be positive. If you're intimidated, you'll do better, you'll get better. To me. So if someone intimidated, I mean, you want control. You find you have a control over them or something. So you're
Some men-
intimidated by them.
If the woman working for more than them, they're intimidated by that.
Nah.
What you'll think of that?
Nah.
Do you think men supposed to be the providers and all of these things, or should it be 50-50 or what?
I think
or it's
Go
okay
ahead,
for
go ahead.
husbands
think-
or what?
The man and woman, whoever in relationship, should set their own relationship boundaries.
exactly. Yeah.
And shouldn't study
Good.
if
Who
it's
should be
50-50,
this, yeah.
or if it's this, or
that
if it's
Good
that, or if
answer.
it's
that
that.
gender roles thing,
Yeah,
I don't do
understand?
that. Yeah, understand?
If me and my girl want to go 50-50, we go 50. If I want to be the main man or whatever. If she want to be, that is our business.
What if, okay, you in particular, are you, okay, what about you in particular? Since you're
Oh,
okay with
me.
anything, so let's say
One
your
more
wife
time,
happened
you
to
say,
be
man,
making more and stuff, because I want to challenge you. Because you sound progressive and that's great, but personally, if your wife or your woman say, stay home and mind the children or clean and I go pay for whatever and you good with that?
That my children.
That's what a good life to me.
Yeah.
That's what a good life to me.
Clean the
Why
house.
vex about that for?
Yeah.
Ladies, we have some good
At the
men
end
here.
of the day, at
Well,
the end
so
of
far.
the day,
Let me
right?
not
At the
get
end of
too
the
carried
day,
away.
It's night.
at the end of the day,
It's night.
right?
God. Oh my God. How many times you pull out one thing?
I can't help it. I can't
Well,
help
she
it.
probably had
The
plenty.
only problems I can see with that is the communication, the respect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, men love to feel like, I don't want to use the word needy, but if it is
Providers, the
yeah,
brainwashers.
if it is I have a
role.
wife who, even though she is making more money and I doing my part or whatever, and she's giving me that respect as the man of the house, there's no issue. But if it's a situation like that and when I come, she talking to me like I'm a slave, then we're gonna
That's
have
the
a
Right,
problem.
problem.
correct.
You
And that is where the
Understand.
problem does come.
Right.
Respect
You know what I mean?
Not
Because-
respecting your work
Yeah.
and your
You
presence
see,
and what
and,
you're doing,
and,
right?
and again, I saw it today in our video. Men don't care about money. Plenty females think men care about money. Men care about respect.
Correct.
But men also care to impress women and make them feel like they
Because-
could provide and
that
they
one-
use
that
money
one-
to do
that
that.
woman like to see.
That woman like to see, yeah. At the end of the day.
Well, they want to feel taken care of sometimes. Not that they can't take care of themselves, but what
Yeah,
but men I think get lost in feeling like they have to provide material stuff. Because even if a woman saying they want these things, if you have a better personality and she feels loved and different other things that is not really about being a man, but just feeling like you have somebody in your corner and supporting you, that is much more important.
To me, men create their own problem. Right? Because you basically meet a young lady and you're throwing all these gifts at her. And then you complain that women only like material things.
Yeah.
Correct.
And when
Yeah.
she based on material things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we create, and then that's certain men who feel they come out here and say, men who ain't doing that is imps and broken, because you feel like that
Well,
one
they tear
girl.
each other down.
Yeah. So they create their own problems. But so
And
be it,
always
you
have
know
to,
what I
right
mean?
always have to be a man of the house.
Sure.
A woman in the house.
Yeah.
That's it. Have a woman of the house. It's always like a man
I
of
want
the
to
house.
come home and eat food too and kick off my
Yeah.
work shoes and food prepared. Why not?
We realize women do run the house, but men don't like to hear that. Like a lot of times, if it is that you have women taking care of the children and making sure the household is functioning, that is kind of the person who is managing the household. But the phrase man of the house and somehow it's like be caught up in feeling like, well, I is the one who have this all together. Or, but I mean, when it boils down to the actual roles,
Again,
Men
these
don't really
things
care
I
about the
would
house,
really, these things is.
I think that is from a social norm, you know.
Yeah,
Men
all
normally the
that-
providers, the protectors,
Yeah.
women is the nurturers, they grow up with that mentality in this 2025.
do you all mind being nurtured or do you find that as like gay man pussy thing?
I mean, being nurtured. I mean,
Do you mind being the little spoon if you're spooning? You know what I mean by that?
I know that phrase, no?
yeah.
You know
I
this phrase?
I know that phrase.
She hugging you
know
up
the
instead of
phrase.
you hugging her up. In
You
a
know, like
spoon.
you ever hear spooning?
Oh,
So
and
like
you
two
actu-
people cuddling and the woman will normally be on the inside and the man holding her. So
Oh,
the inner
I-
spoon and the
I
outer
don't mind.
spoon.
I don't mind that sometimes. I don't mind that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
You okay with that?
all that in it, but I
Okay.
mean, if it's every Tuesday, like some kind of, you know what I mean, like it's some kind of timetable that I find that to be weird. But
Why the weird? Like why would you feel
okay,
uncomfortable?
Let me tell you something about me that I don't like. Right, I don't like to book sex.
I didn't really say that.
Yeah, I like things to be
I
normal.
wasn't
So,
talking about that,
so
but go ahead.
no, but what's it? So it's like that. So I'm going back to us. I'm saying that to say that if I lie down and she come behind me, that's fine. But if
nah,
you say
nah.
every Tuesday I want me to cut like nah.
But sex and cuddle is two different things. Because I know men, a lot of men don't really much upon cuddling. To them, cuddling is like the precursor to sex. Or, what are you doing this for if I want more than this? But a woman might cuddle more like, this is nurturing, tender. I just love you, honey. Let's just be here together.
Intimacy.
And right, I like to feel you next to me and stuff.
I do it.
Is it that you're not really about that?
I
Little
do
tip for men.
HSB. I understand.
If a woman
What
is
is
not
HSB?
nurturing you, or
Wait, what is HSB?
Human and social biology.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's not
okay.
nurturing you, or like oh, was it what I'm looking for?
Oh, but
I
Is
don't
she
ma-
not initiating? Is she not initiating cuddle or initiating something intimate, like your hand or whatever? She not into you like that.
Well,
Nah, I think everybody different,
That's
you know.
true.
It can
That's
be
facts.
not all women will be nurturers. Some are extra cuddly, some not
But
much
when you
in this
really
cuddling
like
thing.
somebody, like
least
really,
if you're
really
in a
like them, and you
relationship
like
already, I mean.
everything
I
with
want to
them
agree.
about them, you
Yeah.
will reach out and touch
I
them
think there's
or
infatuation.
something.
I think there's infatuation or attraction.
But it is attraction, but like
no, but what
healthy.
she, I
Physical
think
attraction.
what she's saying in a relationship, if one person initiating the cuddling or the sexual right, you something wrong.
Yeah, for real.
Because I always say, in a relationship, when you're doing things for somebody, you ain't supposed to be telling somebody what to do. It's supposed to just come natural.
Can I bring up a little controversial thing with that?
Shoot.
So, regarding religion,
Mm-hmm.
they actually have in the Bible and stuff the fact that women, you have to be submissive to your husbands in terms of to sex. So, a lot of times people would think, well, it's my duty to give my man my body, even if I don't want it or not, because the Bible says this is what I'm supposed to do. So I feel like there's a kind of dysfunctional way when you feel like you're doing the quote unquote right thing because something else telling you that this is how you're supposed to be with your man. And many men will be like, well, yeah, they want to get through too, so they will use that as an excuse.
But why wouldn't I want to get through with my wife? and, then,
Right.
and then
And say, God say though? I mean, oh God.
no, I wouldn't bring
That's-
God
that's
into
what hell
that.
abuse.
That's cheapness.
To me,
Especially
I
if you're not
say,
religious,
if we
no matter.
feel in a type of way about each other, these things come naturally. It shouldn't be.
It should be,
Why is it
should be
then-
understanding.
Well, this is not my experience. We don't have to go into why, but maybe for another time. But why is it that a lot of times men and women together, and it tends to be that men feel like I'm not getting enough sex from the woman, and there seems to be a misbalance. So if it is that both of them in love and on the same level, are they supposed to be on the same level where sex is concerned, or is it that men will always feel to have sex more than women, and there's this unbalance? Is that biology
I know
or?
hearing that. I know plenty of relationships where woman more hot than man, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
really?
understand? I
It's
know
always
hearing
heady. I have a headache. Not now.
Nah,
And that's
but
why men
then
be like, well, that's why I
again,
go out
that-
and cheat.
that-
You ain't
that is-
getting it
that is
home.
where
It's
something is
always say
wrong.
that.
That's
Something
So that's
wrong.
not the norm.
Nah,
Nah.
that's not enough to my knowing.
That
So
could
it's
never
be
the
equal.
norm.
That movie thing, I feel.
Yeah.
So both
To me, it
both
is
parties
just-
normally
You just,
on the
just
same
know.
page.
Yeah, just know.
Yeah, just know.
I have a rule. If you can get it up, you can use it, yes? You understand? I can be sleeping. You can get it up, you can use it.
Mess. So then, wait, what if now you're not even aware of this? Because to me, women have these cycles. There are times where they're just like, I'm not in the mood. What if half the time all with women and saying, nah, it equal is because they just giving into y'all and y'all don't even know. Who knows when they're faking it and you're not even aware of it? But the sound effect for that, poosh.
Then that's not really a woman because, as I say, it's supposed to have
Many
understanding.
women do that.
And that is fake relationships.
Many women do
That's
that.
fake relationships.
Y'all now thinking, damn boy.
No, that is fake
did that happen
relationships.
to me?
And that was saying you should know your partner before you
Women
get in a
just cater
relationship.
to men a lot of times. And this is why the idea of an independent woman doesn't really exist a lot of times, you know. The independent women you see are ones who can't really relate to a man, and they might see them as boss bitch, but the balance of, oh my God, I don't have a fulfilling relationship there. So they're so independent, they can't get along. But to have two people who are whole and complete interacting with each other, that is hardly ever the situation.
Communication completely open.
So,
Because I think you have to look for compatibility and not attraction. Most people look for attraction and other personal gains you can get. Because you could deny it how much you want. Relationship is I use you, you use me. Most relationships, right? It have to be for
Exchange.
financial,
Exchange.
it could be emotion,
if you
comfort.
call it partnership, you wouldn't say use.
Exchange.
It says something again. It says something again. It have to be used. Use could be a harsh word, but it says something again.
Yeah, use
But
might
there's
be a harsh word.
comfort, laughter,
You
peace.
must have something to
yeah.
gain. That's obvious
Exactly.
because why you get in a relationship in the first place?
Exactly.
It must benefit you somehow.
So you just have to find a partner that probably you're compatible with. And that is the problem. And you would only know that when you be true to yourself and true to your partner. Because most people get in relationships and true to yourself. They might be toast, they might be masturbating, no kind of thing. And your partner didn't know that. If your partner know you is a toast, man, you can control this. And you be real and open with your partner. You might reach somewhere. That's it.
So why is that toast, man, in the first place? That on all is a some psychological
some people
issue.
just different. I said we
Nah.
are all different. No, we are all
Do you
different.
think it's a biological disorder?
Yeah, but
Yeah, no,
I think it's psychological.
No, we are not the same. Some people want
to.
a one person relationship and someone polygamy. That is a natural fact.
Yeah.
We're not the same.
I think
I don't think a polygamous person is necessarily a quote-unquote toast man, no. That's
No,
a
no,
whole
no.
different
I think-
I'll just show you
conversation.
the difference. Everybody different. So some men probably just have higher testosterone or something,
Right.
you know, and probably just hotter than others. And I just
yeah, I think we put in the word "thirst" in a negative light because
Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
negative
Thirst.
word to me.
high sex
it
drive.
come like this, right? Thirst. If I just somebody might say he thirsty, but if I thirsty for my wife, am I thirsty?
Exactly.
Exactly. Right? So
Nah, that's like creative light. Thirsty for my wife. That's almost lyrics. Nah, that's a
Yeah.
whole different meaning there, though.
yeah.
You'll
I
swoon
think,
for that, yeah.
I think most relationships will be
Thirsty man
totally
different.
truthful at all with each other, and I most of them is fail.
But let's be real. How many when people feel attracted, you want to get to know people, you're not going to question why. And that's when people feel like, well, I just want to be around this person. I
No,
want
but
this
it's got to
person.
be true. It's got to be true to yourself.
Yeah, but you would
So you
think
waste
in your
time.
mind.
What is being true to yourself if you're attracted to somebody?
Exactly, being true to yourself. That way to be true to yourself.
You're not necessarily in love, but you're attracted. So what is being true to yourself in that moment?
To me, if I attract somebody, I rather paint my worst side first, knowing that I can only get better. So
But you're going to intentionally do that? I don't see that happening.
No, that's how I'll be true to myself. If the situation come up that it push me to be that, I will be that person. I'm not going to hide who I am. So when they get to know me, you know exactly who I am. I can deceive you again. You understand what I'm saying? I can trick you. You know exactly who you're dealing with. You understand?
So if you like the person, is there a part of you that feels like I want to display my best self to them?
nah, that is being selfish and deceitful to that point.
But how many, if you like somebody, you understand? Because you will, let's say,
All right,
you will
but
find the extra drive to look a little better.
Not everybody
You
you
might-
like, you could get. That is a fact. You could learn that from young as a man. You could like 1,000 people, that mean you have to be to 1,000 people. But sooner or later, you being your true self, you will find the one that match you.
So do you believe in quote-unquote out of your league vibes?
Nah, I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that shit.
Well, if you're being realistic, right? You say, why I bring that up is because you talk about being attracted to a whole set of people, but it's not like everybody can get through it. So then, they have the idea of somebody out of your league. Why wouldn't you be able to get through with that person now? So do you but now you're saying you don't really believe in
I
that
don't believe in
concept.
I
So
believe in that.
That they have a partner, they're married or something. So you're not going to go there. That's why you can't get them.
but it could be too because you feel like you can't get through. I'm talking about that because men.
Nah, I is not the tracking type to say, but I wouldn't say I can't get you because I know real love is based on personality. And it can be no matter where you're from. The outer league is probably just the first attraction. First, no, sometimes you see somebody just probably very rich or something and say she out of the league. And
Wow.
that might be the attraction part. But if you get to know somebody and realize, hey, this person really cool, and it's not like the person, outer league had no play there.
I feel out of your league is a low self-esteem thing.
Exactly,
If
no
you see somebody
confidence.
and say, I could never get a person, but you did say there are people you can't get.
No,
so
I mean-
you have an idea of feeling like,
No, because they can
Why?
like 1,000 people, but not 1,000 people will like you. You'll find
Why
somebody
not?
eventually because they're different person and different people like different persons. So you could be as best as you think you is. Somebody not going to like your attitude for some reason
True,
or like
they
your
could be
style.
triggered or
You understand what I'm
something,
saying?
yeah.
But somebody go appreciate you or like that part of you. So you just keep on helping
But
until
this
you
is the
find a
thing.
person.
When you are attracted to somebody, you feel like this is an attraction because this is the thing. The dysfunctional attractions could feel very strong. It could be, for example, somebody could have a type that is, this remind me of my first girlfriend who I never get over. And now I somehow always attracted to this kind because people be like, that person, clearly you have a type, boy. And people just chuckle because they realize the same type of relationships over and over. It might be because the first person you never get over. And you don't even know why you're attracted and it's deep and strong.
And
You wouldn't just lock off that?
In learning a lesson. To me, everybody need to go through a heartbreak. Everybody have to go through a serious heartbreak. And it's for you to learn a lesson. And when you learn a lesson, you shouldn't break your heart again. You might break it once or twice again, right? Because some people is hard learners. But after your first serious heartbreak, you shouldn't get a next heartbreak again. That should be a teacher there. That's my take on it.
always say, your heart have to break to open.
Yeah, that be a
It
teacher.
must break to open.
The first love will be the one that you're unsure about and will teach you a lot. It will teach you a lot, especially when you get a first heartbreak and a second heartbreak. After that, it might be a little harder or harsher, but it's you understanding people and reality are better. You know what I'm saying?
So I have a question for you because you seem very wise on this. By the way, for people who don't know, the only reason I'm here right now too is because I was really impressed by Ding. Because I was doing my own man research and thing and I was asking him questions and he was just on point. So yeah, you have a wise person here, Mr. Prezi. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
But oh God, now all the accolades, I forget what I was going to Go on, we're going to talk. What are you talking about? Go ahead.
No, I forget.
Too
Or
much
just,
accolades.
yeah. Or just my take. I think people need to.
Oh, yes, I remember. All right. So you say the heartbreak is needed for people to learn. What is it now that, because they have a lot of people who older in life, you would think that the more heartbreaks, the more sound you'll have, the better relationships, but people are real unhappy. So what it is that people have not been learning in the old age that you could impart, that they're not learning from relationships? What's the problem out there? Why people not happy?
They loving themselves. And I think that's the main thing. And when you really love yourself, you realize you need nobody. And anybody come along will be a plus to you. You will be seeking somebody to start with because you truly love yourself, right? And once you keep going in a relationship or getting married and divorced or getting married, you constantly seeking companionship or that thing. You don't love yourself. You're looking for love in others. You're looking for comfort in others. You're looking for companionship in others right through. And that they learn in the lesson. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just step back, appreciate yourself. Hit gym, do something constructive, build yourself, be better, you know? And eventually, you will love everybody. I tell you, once you start to love yourself and pouring out, you will love everybody, everything unconditionally. And then you'll be able to take everybody better, stomach people, attitudes, and kind of stuff like that.
Correct.
Not just loving yourself. Accepting yourself is important.
Exactly. You're good and you're bad. You're good and you're bad. I know it can be
accept
flawed.
others.
You have to accept that it can be flawed. And now you'll be perfect for everybody. But you are who you are. And you have to understand that
Some
and
people
appreciate that.
when they describe themselves, I'm a nice person. I would never do that. Like they would only say good things about themselves.
No accountability.
Like I would tell you I'm a bitch. I straight off. Right?
So it should be.
Because I know I'm a bitch. I would tell you straight off I'm a bitch. Right? So I'm not gonna say good things about because I accept being a bitch.
They can still love the bitch that you are.
I love the bitch that I love this bitch. You
One thing I
understand?
want to
So-
help people with in terms of loving themselves too, because people are like, well, I can't love myself if it is I accept in the quote unquote bad. Because if you're seeing it as bad, you're not gonna love yourself labeling it as bad. But accepting the fact that this here for a reason. A lot of times what people see as bad is their own body defense mechanisms, or I have to cuss you out because I protected my space. It mightn't be in a healed space. But if you realize why I am the way I am, you'll grow to love yourself and give yourself nurturing so you could give yourself what it is you need to feel better.
And not only that, yeah, before they even reach there, some people go in a relationship, they're going to get abused or going to get cheated on and kind of stuff, and they will stay, right? But if you really love yourself, you wouldn't let yourself get hurt. You wouldn't let yourself reach a point to get hurt. That's what I'm saying. If you really love yourself, you wouldn't put up with a lot of stuff people put up with. Because they depend on others and they really, that's what I'm saying. So you wouldn't really reach a level. So you love yourself.
But yeah, when you feel like, I love him.
Because you love him more than you love yourself.
Right.
You love him more than you love yourself.
But you
and
don't
that's the
even know
problem.
what love is in that point. You're attached, right? You're attached to holding on because you want that person to give you love because you don't feel love.
Exactly.
So you will desperately try hard to do everything it
Together.
takes for that person to validate, please love me so I could feel good. And that's what really happens in most relationships. That is why it is hard to just walk off like that. Because your sense of self is wrapped up in that other person.
And too, the embarrassment too. Because you're in a relationship with somebody and everybody know that's your girl. And she horny or whatever is the key. And all it done. You gotta go and explain to everybody now, well, be done because she horny, well, be done because she horny. It's embarrassing. Because like you say, horny is your fault. So it's embarrassing. You gotta explain why she horny and all of that. So it's an embarrassing thing to his ego.
That's a,
Go ahead, Prezi.
and it's all right. It's embarrassing, yeah, but like the relationship, it shall fade. And embarrassing to who?
I was going to bring up.
You?
Shame is
No, it's not really.
Well, it depends on how you interpret it.
Not really embarrassing to you, the breakup. What is embarrassing is what you think people is talking about you.
True.
You would, yeah, you would.
Because they would
think
have,
about
it
that.
will have a narrative.
But let me ask you a question, right? If I and a girl together and she horning me and I don't know why everybody watching me like I's a clown, but I don't know. It's not like she telling me I'm horning you, my boy. I'm horning you, this lady, and I dare still. But if I don't know why, because it come like I've heard men talk about that already, and I tell men like, yeah, but the man don't know. If you know, like a man might say, boy, I jamming this girl, the man don't even know he's RLM, so came over there. Go and tell him.
Well, the reason why he will feel why if he don't know, it will feel embarrassing because like, damn, you don't know your woman is a hoe. And he'd like, this is the best woman on earth. I love my woman
Yeah,
and
but
she
he's
loves
saying that
me.
because he
And she
does
be
not
and
know.
she right, but what I'm saying is people will be like the energy of damn, I was so wrong that this bitch come because at some point they will know. And even if it take people not even commenting and people shoo in so everybody know before you, it's embarrassing to have believed and put your faith in these people and then it turn around and yes, go ahead.
But
Bite in your ass.
that is just me. If I in a relationship and I put my faith, my love, my trust and respect in a female and she does that, that have nothing to do with me. I will be me.
Exactly.
That can't change me.
But
Especially
yeah,
say-
this
I understand.
scenario.
I don't, look at me wrong. I understand all of that, you know.
Okay.
But I'm not going to let that change me, make me this grimy, evil person.
We
and
just
feel like,
But you might be able
explaining the
to trust
embarrassment.
people again. It depends on how you interpret it too.
Because suppose you get with this girl and your parents don't like her, your brother, your sister, whoever don't like her, so you isolate yourself from your family, your friends for this person, and this person do you that. It must have an embarrassment attached to that.
Let me say this. It's me again, yeah? I think shame have no room in a relationship. If I talk about embarrassment in a relationship, it means that it's not you alone in a relationship, it's everybody else in your relationship. If I'm in a relationship, I don't give a fuck what anybody outside think or say about me, apart from what I do. I really don't give a fuck. Because I live in my life, I'm in my relationship. If I'm happy, whether I'm happy or not, I don't give a fuck what you have to say. I would never be embarrassed in a relationship. I would never, ever. I wouldn't allow myself to be embarrassed in a
I have a
relationship.
question. If it is your woman trip out and start to cuss you in public and a spectacle happen, is that cause for embarrassment or do you feel nothing?
I wouldn't be embarrassed. And I
you
would,
could answer
I would
this
kind of laugh at it. And when I reach him, I would laugh at it. And I would solve my problem. I am a problem solver. If that happens once, I don't like it, then it will happen twice.
You laugh at it, but you wouldn't find it funny.
Nah, my friend.
You laugh it off.
And I'm
or you
laughing at
actually-
it.
Really?
Yes.
If she vexed and cussing you out, that
I
had to
won't-
be a defense mechanism.
I won't be vexed. See, I pass a stage. I won't be vexed in a situation like that.
Yeah,
So there was a point where you would have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I learned.
Yeah, young self,
I
but
learned.
For me now, if that situation happened to me, I would just be like, oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
You know, this going over.
Right, solve
And I go
problems.
down, because what I go and do react to that. and
Would
get
public,
like a-
the public spectacle make you feel embarrassed at all? You would have no feeling with everybody watching
Nope.
you.
Yeah, but
that?
at the end of the day, I will come back to that same place tomorrow and by base everybody don't accept it.
It's no
It
shame
is
in a
what it
relationship.
is.
No,
But
like
I would feel, I might feel a type of way.
The thing
I
is,
might
That's
watch
more than
like-
a relationship.
is,
That is a public
It
spectacle.
ain't going to
now.
happen again. That's the thing. It ain't going to happen again.
Definitely.
I learn from my mistakes and I solve my problems. So
Nah, it ain't gonna happen again.
because I love myself, I will make sure it don't happen again.
Making it not happen again means dump them. How
Of
do you
course,
make
of course. If no, I would
Okay.
say if you can come to the conclusion, if it happen again, I out. I love
Yeah,
myself.
we'll
that
have a
much.
conversation.
I love
If I-
myself that much.
What about the unconditional love part? Is there a part where you could feel like I could see that I have compassion for you and we could work on this? Or it's like, nah, this is a
No,
deal
no,
breaker,
no,
I done.
No.
Unconditional love is I loving you, and even though I see you happy with the next man, I will let you go because I love you still.
Let me
That's
tell you something.
unconditional love.
Let me analyze something that I find I could be a little contradiction there. if you so cool with it because you say, I just laughing that off and it's nothing to me because I ain't not letting nothing embarrass me, why you will dump her?
No, because they did not.
You ain't feel nothing?
That's no. They laughing it off is your immediate reaction.
That's what I'm saying is a coping mechanism. That means you're not
Right.
really seeing it funny.
No,
because
no.
if you're dumping her after that, it means you felt her how and you're saying it will never happen again. Why it affect you?
No, well, it is a situation.
Catch ya. Catch ya there.
I would dump her because if me and you have understanding,
That you do
and
suspect.
you do something that
That means you're feeling how it bother you.
it can bother me.
If it was indoors, it would not bother you as much. The public spectacle make it embarrassing.
I will
and
laugh
that it
indoors
bother
too
you.
because me,
Salma.
I don't people get my energy from me. So I won't give my emotional reaction from me when they're looking for it. A public spectacle is somebody looking for emotional reaction from you. I'm not giving
Or
that. to
tripping
nobody.
out.
I'm not giving that. I will let you trip out. I could walk around my car and cool and you wait and breeze up and
So you
talk
will
after.
feel something.
I won't feel nothing.
Nothing?
I would wonder what's going
I
on.
think-
Touched.
I said I would wonder what's going on in
I
the
think
head.
for me,
But you said you wouldn't even give her a chance because I'm saying, what about the true love of, okay, I
No,
see my
no.
baby
It come like
trip
this.
out, she might
I
have
say
issues.
it won't happen again.
But I say you'll dump and you say, yeah.
No.
yes,
As if it happen again. So I would be someone we'll talk about it. And we analyze
Correct.
what went on and see if it can fix. And I will give her a chance. But if it's the same thing coming happen again, and I'm going to spend up in mud, why waste my time for?
to me, it come
Okay.
like this. I'll go back to saying again, right? Me laughing it off or not responding or walking off during my car cool off is the immediate reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it plain, not to coffee in your face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Not
right?
to act on
Not
impulse.
to coffee in your
Not to
face.
act on impulse.
Yeah,
Correct,
so
correct.
we will go home now, and then when everybody cool down, I would say, why did you get on like that? This is something that you plan to do regularly. And if you stating like, yeah, when I vex, I'll give the fuck I want. And, okay, well then we need to end.
Simple,
Right?
it's simple.
Yeah, but the immediate reaction there is that circumstance so we to not end up brawling. You understand? Because what I going to do? I going to answer the cost too, and both of these spectacle end up on our video.
And then it's
No, that don't
the
make no
impulse
sense.
is a serious thing. Yeah? Most
Yeah.
domestic is happening because of impulse. Yeah?
Correct.
Provocation and thing. And they also need a cough and I'm not going through that. I'm not going through that impulse reaction thing.
I just going to okay. Right, and that is it. But that is just the
I must
immediate-
say, if I'm physically challenged in a way that is hurtful to me, I will react.
You mean you cough?
Yeah. If somebody, if she just get mad enough and hit me and cheers on my face, she'll get coughed down. I'll
Of
go walk out
course.
after calmly still. So I'm not I'm not unreactive at all.
Sometimes you had a, yeah.
you know, yeah. But if I find
Yeah,
a cross in a threshold,
Yeah.
it shouldn't cross.
Yeah.
I will put it in a place. Can I wait?
But that's why you had to see when you had to nip things in the bud. You just know when you're tolerating.
And
And I feel too, let me tell you, I have an issue that I see with a lot of men, right? Because they want to hold it together, because I'd be have it together, you suppress. But you see, they don't want to say, listen, one time you had a lady rules. You can't be shutting down.
Yeah.
Because
Don't take advantage of that. The
yes,
females
and
take
then it will
advantage of
build
that.
up because you are not. It's almost like they're nagging at you to do something
And you
now.
never
The
reacted.
lack, but you thinking, okay, I'm keeping it together. Two different cross wires there, and that is when your ass will trip out and cough her down
Yeah, yeah,
because it's a pressure cooker effect,
I
and you're not
see.
dealing with
That
it
is what they want.
healthily.
They want you to lash them, so they'll call the police for you. That's exactly what they want.
then that's why we need to have a conversation. Because if
Sometimes
I know,
people are
if
not
I-
looking for conversation.
If I know, no, I communication.
My
is-
lash
But
was
I
this
love
up-
hearing that these
my
men
lash
want to
will
have
always be
conversations.
self-defense.
Very
Yeah.
good.
communication is a great killer, and is one of the most important things in any form of life. Your work, everything is
Well, your type of
communication.
communication, yeah,
Right?
and your intention with your
Correct.
words, correct.
So you'll have a conversation.
But people have to be open for communication as well. Right? There's some people you cannot talk to.
I ain't want to hear nothing
Yeah,
because they're busy buffing you and telling you what wrong with your ass. And many
Right.
women are like
Have
that
to be
too.
communicative.
And that's why, from the start, I say, we all have a choice. People been in relationship getting beat up, getting whatever. I do first, because I might hear you say, you have a choice. You don't have to be there. I don't care how bad relationship is, you always have a choice. Everybody have a choice, they can leave. That's why if I can't take something, I can leave. That is my choice.
Even if Here, what? Even if you have strong emotions for them, or do your emotions suddenly disappear when you're leaving?
I have more emotions for myself. You understand
Wait,
that?
but I'm
I love
asking,
myself.
If I want to hear the reality, because some people will
No,
be like,
alright.
but I love him, I can't do
It
that.
are-
So asking you in particular,
2 weeks.
if you love somebody,
It had 2 weeks to get over somebody. That's the time
okay, so
period.
you have a little constructed thing in your mind. So
It's a
I
fact
decided it off, and I'm gonna give myself 2 weeks to get over this
Exactly.
person.
So
and
no
what
ma-
do you do to get over them?
Make
Come on,
myself
let's get
better.
it. Focus
About
on
my-
you.
First of all, you have to
Focus on
fill the
you.
space.
Focus on
Fill
me.
the space that they once held in your life. So like you say, go to gym or
Yeah.
some
Once you
class.
make yourself
Sometimes I
better.
don't deal with anything. There are
Whether
plenty
it's-
crazy people in
Whether it's
gym.
creation,
Sorry.
whether it's music, whether it's
Crazy.
gym, whether it's money.
No, well,
Anything that make you better, make you feel better as a person, make more valuable
I
as a
wonder if it's
person.
really dealing with the underlying thing. Though.
No.
That's what I
Now you are becoming better. So you actually climbing the ladder due to her
Is it
stupidness.
addressing the stress that she giving you though? Or that's just a completely different thing you're focusing on?
It can be addressing the stress one and making you better at the same time.
It's not to compartmentalize.
Right, true.
It's,
That's what
it's
I'm
to
getting at.
deal with your
Yeah.
nonsense
So
while you're doing
It's a lay in
whatever.
bed whole day. Oh, I miss this girl. And go and do something constructive, you know? Be better.
Yeah, go ahead.
Master question. So, because I with this crazy girl, but I love she, I owe she to tolerate that craziness.
Like,
No,
why-
that was
But I'm
saying
saying this
why-
thing, people, this think is love. This make them do some real shit. Including
Yeah.
tolerate shit they would have never do otherwise. And then their partners would be like, but boy, you wasn't like this. But she real changed you, boy.
And let
You
me
never
tell you
hear
something,
that?
right? Yeah, I've
Okay.
and I've probably been through it.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, right?
You're admitting the truth now.
Yeah, at the end of the day, again, as we stated before, the communication and the honesty is important, right? It come like this. If I go in a relationship with somebody and I notice they're doing something I don't like and we didn't talk about it and I stay and it just get worse, whose fault is that? Like mine, right? Or I assume it was going to change, or I expected it is going to change. And I tell people, if you expect something and you ain't get it, that's your fault, because you didn't state your business.
They ain't voicing nothing.
You ain't voice nothing,
First
right?
of all, everybody's allowed to be themselves,
Correct.
even in
They
relationships.
should be.
You're not supposed to expect nothing from nobody. Not because you buy 10 roses means you must get whoever tonight. No, you choose to buy the roses.
Wow.
If she choose to close her leg, that's her choice.
Wow.
Oh, good. That too. Exactly.
Wow.
Choice is choice.
I agree.
Yeah.
True.
But you see, that's where the social expectations make us feel like if we do these things, that's why people be like, I give so much to you, and that's what you do, because you think if I give my all to this person, they
Right.
will love me more and
That's
they'll
your
stay.
fault. You gave so much to them. They didn't ask you. That's your fault.
Why you giving someone pay giving all
I will
for?
tell you a short
That's
story,
what
right?
men do when they provide, giving their
Right.
all.
So I would
They
tell.
base it on
I
that.
was a short story. There was a situation where a partner of mine, he was going through a little marriage troubles, right? And the first thing he said to me when I talked to him about it, he said, "Boy, I put this girl through school and all these things." And I tell him, I said, "Bro, that don't mean nothing. That does not mean she owe you something. From the time you feel like you're doing something, and you telling yourself, right, if I
Should
do
be
these things, they
reciprocated.
go hold on to this female, you're going down the wrong road one time. That don't hold. Huh?
Women think when they do certain things for men that they will
Yeah.
hold the man.
And if the relationship,
Even make
if,
a child. That
if-
is dumb.
yeah, if the relationship is based on that, then something wrong there.
Correct.
Yeah, that
Something wrong
reciprocity
there, yeah.
factor. I mean, like, if I'm in a relationship and I give in, it's always because I want to. I would never be the type to end the relationship and want back anything, right? I give because I want to. I wasn't forced to. Don't mind. If you play the trumpet and say, hey, hold that, I take it back. I
Of
no
course.
fool. Right?
Yeah.
I no fool. But I just give because I want to. So if I give something, then I go and look for reciprocity. I take it back this or I do this, so you know.
But
And
people
that's,
just
you know,
think any moment they're giving because they're in love. But then when the love disappears, it's like, give me back my shit. You understand? So it wasn't
but
really
then-
no
then-
love.
then-
Then there
That's
wasn't.
not
You
then
thought
there-
you was
then
investing
there
in
wasn't-
something.
Then there wasn't
But
given
as
because
most
of love.
people,
No, there
Okay,
wasn't
let me
given
tell you.
because-
Okay, move out
come
of
like
love.
this.
Okay,
Put
go
aside
ahead.
relationship, right?
I was not going to.
I am normally a helpful person. I don't get it back. So what I going to do? Not help people?
But that's why I'm not going to moving out of love. I was not bringing up that.
Right.
What about when you feel like you help people and people be like, but look how ungrateful they are. They don't care. Do you feel nothing about that, or do you feel like, well, I give
Yes,
from my heart
I
is
feel
okay?
a type of way, but I am
Right.
not going to
It's the same
change
thing.
myself.
You
No,
see,
no,
people
no,
let's
not
feel that
chi-
type of way when they give because they don't give correctly. Giving, a lot of people don't give after a line. It must align. What you giving to this person is something that they need. It must align. If you just giving just because you feel
Or you might have an underlying intention. That's why you feel a how.
Buying
Because-
love. You
Correct.
want to buy
Or
love.
because even if somebody don't appreciate it, because you're expecting a thank you even. And if somebody just take it and they might use it, so you know deep down is like they're using it, they value it, but they might not have either valued you or they mightn't be polite. And the thing is like I expecting them to feel how because I do this.
Ego.
Right. But the thing is if you're coming from a true pure love is like, I don't even care if they tell me
Yeah,
anything
it won't
because
matter.
look, they're using it and that's what I wanted. Most
me-
people don't feel that.
How I see it is nothing that really belong to me in terms of kindness. Like I will have certain things, yes, but if somebody needed more than me, I'll give it to them. If this thing just there, or like a laptop or whatever, and you have a child studying, I just there here to study, like that. That's how I believe giving supposed to be. You give to who need when you don't need, in that kind of way. If I make sense.
If I give a toothbrush and your mouth smelling nasty and you ain't tell me thanks, but I know your mouth smelling better, and it's all good.
Exactly. It benefits you.
It benefits
And
you.
I
still.
think-
You get some from it.
As what Miguel said, that should also lay over to relationship because why am I buying a whole set of things for you that you don't need?
Correct.
Just for
Buy
you
your
to
love.
say, nah, that ain't a love. Fire.
I buying
That
love.
bullshit.
I buying love.
You're trying to
Yeah.
hold on to this person, so you're giving your all,
But
empty
you
your
also
cup.
want, and many men want to appear like they have it all together. Because if you want to be rich, and many men are driven to want to be rich, whether it's because I don't even know how many of them want that for real, and how much of them want it for a woman to like them, honestly.
Fair enough.
So
I
that's
always
a big
say
issue there too.
Men against men is also a competition. Because women like men for status and what they could do for them. So silently, a man is always competing against the next man, whether he know it or not. Because when our females see 3 men line, number 4 men line up here, it doesn't be about attractiveness when you reach a certain age. It's about what he can offer, right? So as a man trying to get on top of your game, you have to be different. You can't be the typical 9 to 5 whatever, because that's common all about, right? So which is the easiest way, or money is the easiest way to come out that bracket. If it's not that, it's sports, it's fame, it's something.
But still, if rich is what you're coming out with, then you are defined by having money. So then you're not even going to be
Actually,
seen for love
race,
and
men
stuff.
is go through against each other silently.
Against each
Silently.
other.
That's
All
what I'm
that is
saying.
social kind of
to compete
structures.
in this world. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I ain't saying you want to buy love. But if you want to be on top of your game, at least you have to try and be better than the next man. So you don't have to be financially alone, It could be, have to be something, it could be gym-wise, it could be, you know what I mean? But some way you have to be better than the next
Stand
man.
out. You have to stand out.
Yeah, some way you have to stand out. And that is a silent race. I don't know for everybody, but men just go through that silent competition. That's what I'm saying.
So you feel like women don't really have to stand out?
Woman could born sexy and get through in life. You have to go to
Women
school.
is compete
Sexy.
against
Because
each other.
woman could
Because
born
What if a
sexy.
woman don't feel she's sexy?
Now, woman could born sexy and a woman could be ugly and still get through in life. Mental
Yeah.
out here.
Wo- woman-
As I say, No offense.
Women have no problem. I just always say,
Have it easier, but also we don't have no problem.
Oh,
We
they
have
don't
it
have problem.
easier.
a woman just need a man to take care of them. A man need to take care of a woman, need to be better. That's what I'm saying. So a woman have it easier. A woman should be in school, as a man could say. A woman should be studying gym and personal looks, but that is to take it way out most times because men looking for attraction are nice. You know what I mean? Whereas
But
a
as you
man,
said, that and that don't last forever.
Yeah, but that's shallow.
Right.
That is
but
shallow.
no, but it's a cheat code for the woman. A good man would know the
and
difference.
I think
Yeah, but that's not going to last. You think how good body will last forever? No. So
That's
when
just
it
a
go,
trophy
then what?
vibes.
Exactly.
well,
But
Take
it's
two
a-
children and then what?
It's a
And her
cheat-
body change.
It's a cheat code for the woman. At any day, you could be sexy, married a rich man, get divorced, whatever. You know, you think it's go. And your life fixed. You probably went to school day in life, you were in play a sport, you know what I'm saying? A man can't do that. A
Can't
rich
count to
woman ain't
6.
coming and say, hey, I'm marry you and you get rich. Ain't gonna happen to no man out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A man have to work. A man have to build himself.
Well, everybody had to build itself in this day and age, because that's what have women feeling dependent on a man, and then man feeling like they have to provide and stuff, because people not realizing that, hey, we could all have our shit together and we're supposed to be supporting. You understand?
I feel what women really want, as a woman myself, from men is vulnerability. For a
That's a
man
big
to be
one.
completely open and just pour his heart out.
Quit all these stupid games now, boy.
Yeah, just be open, just be vulnerable. You
know
don't like
what
that,
you
tell me you
need,
don't like
you
that.
could
Don't
be
be
there for
passive
you.
aggressive. You know that kind of way,
quit
like
all the games,
just be
niggas.
open.
But that's
Open. We
that's
love that.
I
We'll
would-
be open too.
I wouldn't say vulnerable is the word, man. I would say the
Open
same
back.
thing. That's being true to yourself and being true in your relationship. I would say vulnerable. Vulnerable come from a huh? Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
I would tell you, I would tell
Vulnerable
you,
must sound like a weakness.
yeah, I would tell you straight, I'm very emotional. Fuck
You
that.
triggered by the word vulnerable, but nothing wrong with the word vulnerable.
No, it's a weakness. When you have vulnerability, you exploit it. It's go hand in hand. Coming from a computer
It's supposed to be
perspective.
vulnerable with the right people. Because other than that, you're a victim. If you're vulnerable, or at least you're open with the right person, then
Open
you
is a
could
better
heal.
word.
You could have strength in that. Because it's like, I admitting something
You
that
understand what is
nobody
wrong?
else could admit.
No, you
So I
can't fix
trust
it.
you.
Exactly.
That's a big strength and a
And
gift.
woman does make it so hard for a man to open up to a woman. Because I use the man words always against him. Always.
Why would they use words against him unless the words not adding up?
Eh?
What words would they use against you if the
I'm-
words not
I'm
adding
You
not-
up?
tell a woman
Ah,
when
so
you
if
was
knocking your
young, you had infected too, right? As they follow that way you fucking stink too. That way your
son.
toe was stink when you was small.
Yeah,
you
son.
content.
Or
You had AIDS,
I
you had AIDS.
remember say,
Yeah.
tell me the truth now, I know the truth, I won't get on
Yeah.
bad. I tell you the truth. It's the opposite.
Or,
Yeah, son.
you know, all they're talking about all their past and, yeah, we'll use my second. You don't know any experience? It's only one girl you had, she might be the need to fuck with her.
woman, it's say that?
Woman is,
I
what
never
you
heard
Let's say
that one.
anything. They wouldn't mind
True,
mean it, you know.
anything, true.
Woman is
People
tough.
emotional, they
Woman
say
is tough
anything.
into emotions.
Especially when,
Unhealed woman.
That's not me.
especially,
Okay, yeah.
especially when
I am not
you're
that.
like this and they ain't saying nothing. Yeah, they had to get a reaction. They have
That's
to
it.
get it.
Women don't fight physically, they fight emotionally. And they do it
Yeah,
based
emotional
on
beings.
provocation. They love to provoke. The might see spend the thing with women fighting and thing. I instead pick side, I just wonder, who provoked who, boy? Who started this fight? So plenty times, women is be provoking factor of fights, you know. They come and
Because
poke
she
and
want
poke
to
and
lash
tease
her
and
so she
yeah.
can call the police for
Yeah.
you.
Women
That's how
provoking
it
on
is.
themselves too. Right? Because let me just say, I'm in a relationship. I have a little side chick. I meet a chick. She my girl, I'm my girl. I understand. As we jam and I leave, she go and follow my girl. and the provoking start. And she praying up start. But she's clung. She don't even know. Yeah. You know that kind of thing. You don't know the girl from nowhere. No?
So there's fight. So many
Yes,
fight.
fight
So
wild.
many fight.
That's how it is go.
Well, that is you for having side chick in the first place.
You see?
All chicks supposed to be knowing themselves. No. If you put on yourself, As you're saying here, they have people who could be into polygamy
And then talk
these
to a
things,
woman
but
too.
everybody on the
If you
same
see a woman
wavelength.
out there that you like, talk to a woman, she might be into that. You never know. Might say, well, bring her home. You never know what can
well,
happen.
Openness and honesty
You
and
know what?
truthful.
You're right. You're right. I was just giving an example of women is provoked women. Sometimes I feel like women want to kill each other for breathing oxygen. Yes. And they
Nah,
say
they have women also support each other. We
No,
more so than men because men just be competing against each other, but women be like, what you do here? And talk it out and
And all of me hating that one man, eh?
when you have a true woman, cut
when
off,
I meet a female group that's supportive, I would say the ratio in my times is probably 1 to 20. Most girls is hate on each other secretly.
And
But
even
So they are not
encourage-
friends.
Encourage them to leave a man because they're hating in
Yeah.
in
And
silence.
then they are
I
not
used
friends.
I used to make this I used to tell this code long and I say a man will watch a relationship. Say like I watching your relationship with your dude and saying, "Way boy, I wish I had a girl like that." A girl will watch that same relationship and say, "I wish I had that man." Not a man like that, eh?
Yeah.
That man. Yeah.
Wow. Maybe because she feel like you can't get another man like that, and
Wicked
that's
And
out.
then she will encourage you to leave the man. Hey, that man is no good.
Yeah.
And 2 months after, she with the man. And they think that is a friend because leave him.
Well, that was never your friend. That's all.
I am total opposite.
That's why you have to
Oh,
stay
because
true
your
to
man
your
is
own
an
perspective.
extension. I not my friend. I've been all done. I done with him too. Same way.
Exactly. That's what real friends
That's how
do.
it's supposed to be.
support. Anyways,
It will be easy out here.
let's start a wrap up.
It will be
Advice.
easy out here. And we didn't even start on the openers yet, eh?
No.
And I like I like
Wow.
20.
Is that you had a list of things to talk about?
Like, okay, so I'll just give out what the first thing I was going to start up with, right?
Yeah.
Like, what does love look like now to you compared to 5 years ago?
5 years ago. 5 years ago was
Say 10
COVID, you
years.
know.
Say 10 years.
Like, say 10.
COVID. pre-COVID and post-COVID is two different eras. So life was just different. These days, people not rushing to get married and thing anymore. I realize that. So, wow, look at that. And you realizing it's a social construct and stuff. So that's a big thing. And
I support that
yeah.
100%.
And I think the gender's more balancing to realizing we all have emotions. We all have to take care of our shit and all of that too. So, that self-care aspect. So people not as pressured to stay together all the time as much. So it's a little different. I think true love coming more because people realizing you had to love self and all of that too. So it developing in a positive way. Yeah.
Yeah. I think people real programmed with even the relationships, they're living day by day with memes and all this shit. You know what I mean? They're not living their life. Yeah, they're living their life through
Other people life.
yeah, other people's life, and it weird. And COVID showed us a lot how people live in shady relationships, because I don't know if you all knew that domestic violence went up a lot over
COVID?
time,
Yep.
because husbands and wives were living separate lives. They hardly was home, but now COVID forced everybody to come home together.
Correct.
And the bomb exploded.
I realize we can't stand each other.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that was real sad to hear, boy.
But that was good because now you're realizing, oh shit, all this was existing and nobody was dealing with it. Because you're out at work, this one going to the bar after work, this one have their friends. So nobody realized, oh shit, we couldn't stand each other for an extended period of time all along. This made us realize we had issues to deal with.
But why?
Why? We can't stand each other?
I'm gonna tell you
Everybody's
something,
sickening.
It's not that. I'm gonna ask a question. Why it is I would be in a relationship with my girl or wife or whatever for years, and then let me say I now meet Ding say his name, call him at it, right? And we start a line, and he telling me something about my relationship. He don't know anything, and I questioning my girl all of a sudden. But you know that is happening a lot, right? So you have a friend, you in a relationship for years, you meet this friend, and she watch your relationship for 2 days and telling you something, and you know questioning, or you and your man rolling 9 years now. You see a video on TikTok. You see when men just put their phone so they're cheating, and you watching your man because I know he rested the phone like that unconsciously. He
External
but
influence.
you like he's resting phone so.
Well, I mean, it
so
could
that's
be
why I
true.
mean that people living through social media and
To ask a question.
mhm.
It's just to ask a question and clear things up. It's that simple. It literally, look, even with us, sometimes we talking as friends. And you will ask me a question. I was like, wow, if you didn't ask this question, you would have misconstrued everything I tell you. So just asking a simple question sometimes.
Communication is key.
Exactly.
Going back to that.
Of course.
But we can start to wrap up and think I'm feeling a little antsy. I feel like we have stuff to delve into, but I don't know if we could come back on the show some other time or
Part two,
something.
of course.
But we have
Of
some
course,
serious
of
things.
course,
It's all over, but I feel we could get into some things and get deep now.
Of course,
Because
of
we had to
course,
find
of course.
solutions and things too.
Of course.
So, but I really
Infinite
appreciate
waters.
this.
Infinite waters diving.
Right, so we'll wrap up here tonight, and we definitely will have the ladies back again.
Yes.
Right? You learned something tonight. You know? Stop living your life and your relationship through social media and memes and all these garbage.
And stop being fake.
You
Oh
understand?
God, yes.
We'll get there. We all will get there, because life, it's no handbook on life. Life is an everyday learning process. The mistake is not learning from the mistake, right? So,
A little something I want to say, a little
Of
words
course,
before
of
I wrap
course,
up
of
too.
course, of
Yeah,
course.
and it's all about looking at life with non-judgment, realizing that we all different, experiencing life in different ways, and coming together and sharing different perspectives will help us find ways forward.
amen.
Exactly what unconditional love is. Unconditional love is loving somebody for their good and their bad, bad, quote unquote, and helping them through it and helping them to become their greatest version, regardless of what. Sticking by the side, whoever that person is. Mother, sister, brother, boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. That's what unconditional love is. Even if you're not with them, You don't have to be with somebody to love them and help them.
Could have come afar.
Nah, if you can't cook curry, I can't love you.
That's conditional.
I made a vow to myself that I am not going to lie. That's why I say I am truth. I don't lie. I say that now, I don't lie. Even if you ask me a question that is contradicting to me or some way, I rather tell you you're too fucking fast than lie to you.
Correct.
You understand?
Correct.
Oh, I don't have to answer that.
Correct.
You understand?
Correct.
Well, all right.
That's nice.
This has been Parallel Podcast 868. Prez I am.
Hi.
I am Prez for the slow ones. Alongside the artist himself and soon to be the Prime Minister, April the 29th. Tell the people and them something. And of course, again, thank you for the ladies for passing through. This has been Parallel Podcast 868, and they're not going to like this song, and we are out.
Are we not gonna like it?
Fuck all you hoes.
Trinidad!
That's all we get.
Parallel Podcast 868,
And time fly.
and we are out. Right?
Thank you for watching Parallel Podcast 868. Please be advised that the opinions and views expressed by our guests are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the show or its hosts. Viewer discretion is advised. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more insightful content.